Hi there, and I'm here again with my son Matt, making my favorite type of videos where you kind of do our debate thing. But first off, like I mentioned in my last video, I said I would tell you guys what Scream Factory just announced, and that is that they're coming up with two new additions for the fall, and that is The Doctor and the Devils, which is a fantastic little Timothy Dalton film that came out in 1985. May not be my first pick on ones I'm going to get, but you know, one I'll get down the road. But the second one is a day one buy for me, and I think for my son here too. He's probably going to grab his own copy of this one as well.
Yeah, really.
And it is Tales from the Crypt, Vault of Horror double feature, and guys, yes, Vault of Horror for the finally is going to be uncut.
Yeah.
And we are very excited about that. Now,
Oh, yeah.
we want to talk about our three franchises: Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, and Halloween.
The big ones.
The big ones.
The big three.
Yeah.
The Trinity of horror.
The Trinity, the trifecta of horror. And what we decided is that we were going to decide on our top sequel for each one of those. So we can't pick the original movie. Our top sequel. And the sequel, basically the runner-up sequel that almost made our top sequel but didn't.
Yeah.
You know, we don't know what each other's decisions are, and we're going to debate which one's better. So right now, we're going to start off, and I think we're going to start off with, what do you want to start off with?
Nightmare. I'm assuming Nightmare because we had a
we had
a small we were
discussion.
we watched Dream Warriors by Doak, and we just casually said what our favorite ones were, and we're like, wait, we're about to make a video about this.
Yeah. So, but you don't know what our runner-up is. So you go first. What's your runner-up?
My runner-up is oh god, it just went out of my head. It's probably 3 though. 3 is my runner-up. I really like part 3.
Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely part 3.
My runner-up is 2. 2 is just cheesy and.
There's something inside me.
Oh God!
I can't get it out.
two. I have hilarious fun times with number 2, and number 2 is my runner-up, but not my favorite. Number 2 is highly rewatchable. It's the gayest movie I've ever seen, but it's highly rewatchable.
I already know what my ending sting at the end of this video will be.
Okay, so your number 1. I know this one, but say
it. New Nightmare. I love New Nightmare. I think New Nightmare is a wonderful reimagining of Freddy. It's a very meta film. Did that one come out before or after Scream? Because I think...
Before.
Yeah, I think, before. He did both of them.
Yeah.
But this was the first, real meta film, and it worked for him, and it really works. It works well.
I don't get the hate that movie gets sometimes, because I really, really love that film.
Yeah, no, it's really good. I like the redesign of Freddy, except for the green hat. That's always a weird thing for me. I like how it plays a lot upon...
I love Bone Claw.
Yeah, the Bone Claw is amazing. I love how it plays upon the basis of Freddy, like the figure that he originally saw that was the basis for Freddy when he was a kid, the man in the coat, just down there. And Freddy's a much scarier and realer character than that. I really like it.
Well, my decision is going to seem very commercial, but it's the one that I really, really liked, and I came back to so many times when I was a kid. And that is his runner-up, actually, is Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors. For me, it was the best of all the worlds. You got Nancy coming back with, your beloved character. You have a brand new character that is fantastic, played by Patricia Arquette. Some kid with some great powers. The movie has some great... And this one has some of the best special effects.
Yeah.
Practical effects being used, and
I can still never get over the puppet death.
I love that.
That unnerves me to this day.
And that's why. Is there anything that nerves you as much in New Nightmare as that puppet death?
There's the scene where the girl's being dragged along the room and cut. That's pretty bad.
But that's a parallel to the first one.
That's true. It is a parallel to the first one.
And I will tell you why I cannot pick New Nightmare, although I love the film and I think it's one of the tightest scripts.
Yeah.
I did my kid.
Oh, the kid? Yeah.
And he, a lot hinged on him. I just thought he was
my friend Charles had a similar reaction when we watched the film. He thought that. I remember we watched it here one day. I think we were looking after the house, and after the house and the cats, and we watched it, and it got to the point where I think he had to leave at one point.
This kid is just too much for me.
He had to leave to go home because he had work the next day, but it got to the point where the kid had the
glove on?
he taped the knife to his hands and he's Freddy's coming. And he's just I'd slap that kid. I don't got time for that. He's playing around with those knives. Yeah, no, the kid's a bit but I think the kid adds in a
We
way.
got John Saxon, of course. So of course we have those characters in both these films. So
Yeah, we do actually. We have all those characters. You know, in a way, 3 is the first. 3 is a good. If like I think about like the Marvel films and they're like adding all these like different like varied characters.
3 kind of brings.
3 has its own like universe thing with all these characters with their own
3
powers.
should have,
and stuff.
they should have kept going with that, but he went in a different direction.
Yeah, 4 immediately gets rid of everything, but it's
Yeah,
good. It's good still.
It's a good film, but still it gets rid of Patricia Arquette. And the girl, she's a good actress, girl that did the role. But I really did miss Patricia. And
Dream Master and Dream Child were good films. They're okay. Certain parts were.
So we got to get on to our next one. Cause
Yeah, we do.
5 minutes on this one. So Halloween.
Halloween.
Your runner-up.
My runner-up is Halloween 3.
Oh,
Because I really like Halloween 3.
I do
wanted to
like how Tom Atkins is in that one.
Yeah, I like Halloween 3 a lot. And it's weird to say because like it's like what's your favorite Halloween film? The one where
Michael Myers is
when Michael Myers isn't even in unless you look on the TV screen. Or you like subscribe to that idea that he was the guy in the car that says "on open fire." But like Hellraiser theme. It was a good film. I wanted to say it as my top film, but I thought it would be a little bit cheating.
My runner-up was really hard for this one here.
Yeah.
And I went back and forth. And finally I decided that my runner-up was actually number 3. But same thing. A great film.
I have a bad feeling we're going to have the same number 1, too.
I don't know. Okay. So anyway, so my number 1 for Halloween, I'll go first this time around, is part 4.
Oh, okay.
And I think as good as part 2 is, and
it's like you knew.
as and even like cheesy as part 5, and part 6, producer's cut is really good. But I really liked part 4. I think
part 4 the one that has the like he takes off his mask scene?
No, it's part 5.
Okay.
And part 1. But he takes off his mask part. You look just like me.
I like that scene a little bit.
Part 4 has Daniel Harris. George P. Wilbur is playing the character Michael Myers for the first time. He will play him again in part 6. And he would do the stunts for him in part 5. Now Don Shanks will play him in part 5. Oh my God, I've got a lot of useless knowledge in my head. But anyway, it's just a fantastically done film. It's so well shot. The Loomis character is just fantastic in this film here. We get new characters brought in. We bring in a new lead that is just as likable as Jamie Lee Curtis. She's really cool. She's really... And then they messed up and killed her at the beginning of part 5. I can't believe that. She did an incredible job in part 4. Loved it. What's your number 1?
It's 2.
2 is a great film.
I like
Love
2
the
a
hospital
lot.
setting.
2, the hospital setting is amazing. Terribly butchered in the remake. Everything about that was butchered.
Yeah.
But 2 follows up on what was just a nameless, well, technically not nameless, but like faceless killer that like we don't see too much of. Like he's literally just attacking people, and it gives you a reason.
I don't. That's what bothered me about 2. I don't think he needed a reason. I think that, and I think that's the thing with what's wrong with Rob Zombie.
No, I'm not. He doesn't have a reason. I'm not saying he had like a reason behind it, because reason behind it's bad. But his attacking her and why he's there, it would make sense that he would come back there, of all places.
Well, to be fair, from the first one, we can assume that she went to his house and he just followed her from there, type of thing.
That's
or
true.
That she resembled his sister, and they were picking people around that age, and there was no other reasoning behind that.
I think, though.
But I gotta agree, part 2 does have some great casts. It's a wonderful cast. Lance Guest is criminally underused, actually.
Yeah.
But
you get to see.
Gotta love her wig.
Yeah.
Because you had her hair.
You get to see some of the fallout of what happened in part 1. I believe you see what's her name.
The nurse.
No. The body, like the girl that. I forget her name. She died in the original one, but in the remake they didn't kill her until part 2 for some reason.
Oh, Annie.
Annie. You get to see, I believe, the sheriff, like...
Sheriff Brackett,
yeah. Yeah, Sheriff Brackett, seeing his, like, daughter being taken away.
That was sad.
You get to the guy who gets hit by the truck, who's in the mask, but he's not really...
That's the guy that she liked. It's Ben Tramer.
Yeah, exactly. There's, like, little ties to the first one. It makes perfect sense.
Pretty
It follows up really well. And it
Yeah.
ends on a perfect note with that song. It's just sad, man.
I love that song. I'll give you that as the top one for that one. But I think I got the top one for the last one.
Yeah, well, I didn't expect to.
Friday 13th, your runner-up.
Oh my This one's a really hard one. I had a mix between two. It was I think my runner-up is number 2 though.
Friday the 13th Part 2.
Friday the 13th Part 2 because it starts off with a bang. The main character in the first one's dead instantly. The character of Jason's introduced, and he's pretty good about it. You get to see like little hints at what he's been doing, like how he's been like surviving and stuff like that, and which would be the basis for.
My runner-up doesn't even have
Really?
Jason in it.
Oh, it's gonna be 5.
5, I love 5. I make no bones for loving 5. 5 is just sleazy. Danny Steinman, of course, who directed Savage Streets, directed Part 5, and it was a very, very fun film.
There's a little bit of a criteria here when I was like thinking about what my favorites could be. When I said Nightmare on Elm Street, I said anywhere from 1 to 5 and 7.
Yeah.
Those are ones that it can be. When I said Halloween, I said any of the first 3, maybe 4, because 4 was okay. When I said Friday the 13th, I said the first 4 was where I was going. 5 maybe.
Okay.
'Cause
So
I
what's
like 5.
your number pick for?
My number 1 pick is 4. I really like 4. I think.
Mine too.
Tommy is just an awesome character.
Great introduction. The only thing that's lacking in Part 4 is, well, that guy's death and downstairs. He's killing me! Oh my God, he's killing me! No shit. You Mr. Big Burly hunter guy, and this is it.
Regardless of what you might think,
But-
I'm being murdered.
Crispin Glover.
Crispin Glover's. That like everything about that movie is just
Fantastic.
either fun or awesome.
I love
It's
it.
the ending of technically a trilogy. 2, 3, and 4 all technically happen the same night, don't they?
I think 4, 5, and 6 are almost a trilogy.
Oh
Really,
yeah,
Jarvis trilogy.
it's weird that 2, 3, and 4 happen in the same night, don't they? Basically the same night, like in the course of 2 days.
Basically,
Basically, but 4 segues into another trilogy
yeah.
because it's the Tommy trilogy,
And I gotta say,
and then
fantastic.
7 has psychics.
We are out of time.
Yeah.
We'll talk about this more, but fantastic. We both picked the number 1 movie for that. If I had to pick another one, I guess would have picked Part 6, but one's the zombie stuff. So
Yeah.
thanks for watching. For me right now, the kettle has got a boil, the teacup is empty, and it is time for tea.
You got the body, but I got the brain.